3 from the Calculus ABBC Summer Review Packet, and in this problem we were asked to find the domain and range. Now they do hint that we might use a graphing calculator, but it says to do it if all else fails, which makes me think that we're supposed to do it with our brains first. Now we know that this is called the argument. I've never called it that before, but I read in the packet that this is called the argument. We know that the argument for a log can never be negative, and it can also not be 0. You can't take the log of 0. So anyway, that means that this x minus 3, we're talking about the domain here, x minus 3 has to be greater than 0. So if we solve that, then we find out that x has to be greater than 3. So that starts to tell us what our domain is. Our domain has to be greater than 3, which means it can be anywhere from 3 to infinity. It cannot include the 3 though, because that would make the argument be 0, which we can't have. Then for our range, they say to try to use some reasoning. Now we know that the shape of a log graph is something like this, probably not so right angular, but it's something like that. And so now we've established that our asymptote is at 3. So we can imagine that our log graph looks something like this. And so we can see that our range goes all the way from negative infinity, and this is slanting somewhat upwards, to positive infinity. So our range is negative infinity to positive infinity. And just like that, we figured out the domain and the range for that log function. If you need more tutoring this summer, contact me. My contact information is at the end of the video, and it's also in the description down below. Thanks for watching.